Hello, my name is Dominic, and welcome to the ConnectMLS Advanced class. Today we're going to be going over some of the advanced features in ConnectMLS in hopes to help you get some more out of ConnectMLS. So firstly, just to start, I want to cover a couple of things on the home page that you may or may not be aware of. With customization of the home page, if you did not know, you can actually click and drag these little widgets here, these little boxes, um, and reorganize them just by simply clicking and dragging, however best suits your needs. You'll just want to click on the little blue bar there with the name of the widget, click it, move it, and drop it. You can further get into customization if you go to the little circle at the top here. It'll either have your initials or your photo. Click on that, go down to My Settings. And then in My Settings, you can scroll down and choose Modify Homepage Layout. And in Modify Homepage Layout, you can visualize the homepage here with the widgets and the different amount of columns that you can select. The view that I have on right now is the default view, but you can customize the amount of columns. You can go to 4 columns, you can go to 3 evenly spaced columns. You can just do one big one if that's how you like it. You can do whichever one of these that works best for you. And same deal as what I just showed you with moving them around manually on the home page. You can click and you can drag and drop the widgets here and customize how this looks. You can also click the X on some of them to remove them, and they'll go down in the bank here of different widgets that you have available to add. And then, obviously you can also click the plus here to add them in. The one widget that you cannot remove is the board messages widget. This is important because this is where we will be posting information for any kind of pertinent updates to Paragon. If something is down or fixed, or if there's any kind of breaking news regarding its functionality, you will see that in board messages. We want to make sure that you always have that visible for you. You don't miss that kind of information. So you can customize which column it's in, but it will always, see if I click and drag down to the bottom of this one, it'll always go up to the top, no matter where I drop it. And also, like I just said, you cannot remove it. And that is how you update your homepage preferences. Another thing on the homepage here is the market activity widget. So the market activity widget is meant to be sort of a snapshot of what's going on right now in the market. By default, it will show you today's happenings. You'll see it's broken down into new listings, expired listings, etc. You can go all the way back through a month. And if you like, you can customize where this is, what kind of properties you're looking for, and what cities you're looking through. If you click on Customize here, and it will open this little bar here, and it will open this little window here. I don't have any criteria, so this is everything on the MLS. But if I add, say, residential class, and I don't know, let's go Berkeley in my city, I can just hit save. It will reload and just give me everything in Berkeley. All right, and then lastly, technically this isn't just on the home page because you will see this no matter what page you're on in ConnectMLS, but I want to draw your attention up to the smart bar up here. The smart bar is the Google search basically of the MLS. You can enter in an MLS number, you can enter in an address. It will find every time that address has been listed on the MLS. You can, if you have a client contact created, you can type their name in there and their client contact will pop up, so you don't have to go digging through the client's folder if you have a ton of clients. It's a quick way to save you some time here. Another functionality is if you, say, meet somebody out there in the field and you forget to swap business cards, you can actually find information within this smart bar. You can do this by searching through an office. If you type in the letters OF for office and then space and then type the office name, you will see different offices come up. You can then click on those. You can then get contact information for members of that office. The Smart Bar is, again, just a nice quick way to find some info. You can do very, very limited general searches, really just by cities. If you type in a city name like Berkeley, I'll show you how to do that, or what it looks like. So if I type in Berkeley and then hit enter, it will do basically a no criteria search for Berkeley. So it's going to be like literally everything: solds, expireds, actives, everything. So that may or may not be useful for you. As far as general searches, that is sort of the extent of the Smart Bar. All right, and so now I'm going to cover searches and some of the different things that you can do within the search function in ConnectMLS. So if we hover over the search tab up here, you'll see we have a number of different options of things to search. You have a general search, which is where you will get comps. You'll see it has a list of different types of property classes. And if you go down and choose cross property, you can add multiple classes. So if you need, I don't know, let's say residential listings and residential income class listings, cross property is the one that you'll want. These are the three functions right below general search: street address, map search, and MLS number. These three are already built within search, so most of the time you may not necessarily need these. It's a little bit redundant with the general search, but if you need a really quick way to get there, these functions are right here for you. So I'm going to get right now into a general residential search and show you how to get the most out of your searches. All right, so this is my general search open. As you can see, we have criteria that I can add. If I scroll down, I just want to point you to the data source field. This is where you can customize which MLSs that you are searching through. This includes Bridge MLS data and all of our different data share partners. I would recommend by default, in most cases, you will want this entirely filled out, but if for whatever reason you want to look through just a couple of specific MLSs, you can, remove some of these if you would like and narrow that down. When you're looking through your results, you will see some listings that have different prefixes. For instance, with MetroList listings, the MLS numbers will start with ME for MetroList. For San Francisco SFAR listings, their listings will start with SF, Barry's BA, Bay East BE, MLS listings ML, etc., and so forth. So just so you know, when you're seeing MLS numbers, the source is already kind of embedded in those numbers for you, just to give you a better idea of where they're coming from. The listings that do not have prefixes, they will start with the number 4. Those are Bridge MLS listings. All right, so let's say I'm looking through my criteria, and there's something really specific that I want to look through, but I'm not really seeing a field that kind of addresses my need. That is not a problem. What I can do is go down here to the add and remove fields and click on that. And that will open up this little window where I can go and I can scroll through all of the lovely different fields that I have the ability to add. Some of these are feature fields. Some of these are fields like price date. So if you can think of it, there's probably a field in here for you. And if you want to add a field, let's say I want to add the zip code, I would just click on the little plus on there, and then it will automatically transfer over to the other side here, the fields that are added at the very bottom. So if I were to save this right now, this would be below data source, which was my last field. So if I don't want it to be all the way down there, what I can do is I can click and I can drag the zip code field up. And I think it makes the most sense to have it right beneath city. So I'll drop it there and I'll hit Save Changes. This will reload in a second here. And then you will see now right below city, I have zip code. So I'm going to enter in some example search criteria here. Okay, so if I entered my criteria, let's just say for the sake of this is everything that I want. Let's say I accidentally close out my search window. That's super frustrating, right? But I don't actually have to be that frustrated about it, because on my right-hand side here, in the My Searches section, I have this Previous Searches window. And previous searches saves all of your previous searches forever. So it is basically anytime that you create a search, there is a little automatic save that happens when you enter in your criteria, and it will log that. So I don't ever have to worry in ConnectMLS about accidentally losing my search. It'll always be within this little page here. And my last search it will be at the very top, so you don't have to go digging through it. It'll be at the top if you're in the scenario that I just described. Also next to it is saved searches, where you can go and you can take a look at any searches that you have saved to a client or any manual searches that you've saved, where you can edit, delete them. These ones, for instance, here are expired, and it will tell you that they are expired. You can then extend those expired simply from the edit button. All right, so I've got my results for my Berkeley search here, and I want to view them on a map. I want to see what they look like. All I have to do here is click on Map Results, and it automatically plots them within a nice map here. You'll notice these have a little dot and a price tag. So that represents individual listings. And if I click on any of them, it'll give me a little preview. Then I can simply click on the photo if I want to see the photo nice and blown up, and I can scroll through the photos. Or I can click on the actual address here, and it will pull up the agent report for the listing. While we're on agent reports, just so you know, obviously agent reports have restricted information that is not client friendly, right? So if you want to see what we'll actually send out to clients when you send them listings, simply click on this client friendly tab right here, and it will redact everything that is not on reports that clients can see. So then you have a reformatted report that shows you exactly what your client would see. We'll cover in a little bit how to actually send these out to clients. All right, so something else that you will have noticed here in my map search is I have a spreadsheet right next to my map. That's something that's unique to ConnectMLS. I love this feature because, oftentimes I am looking through listings and I kind of want both these things at the same time. But maybe you don't, and that's totally fine. You can click on one of these arrows if you want to completely collapse the spreadsheet, click Show List to open the spreadsheet again, or click on that little arrow to the left, and it will make the spreadsheet the whole page. So that's a nice function, and you can easily toggle through the different ways to see this information. Something else that I can do with my map is I can draw a shape. So I'll show you how to do that right now. If you click on the little square with the pencil in it, it then gives me options to draw shapes. And I have 3 different options for shapes. The first option is the polygon, which is essentially a custom shape. If I click down when I have my polygon selected, it'll create a point. I'll click down again to make another point. Again, again, and I can make a really weird, unique shape, right? So I've made my weird little shape, and I'll simply just click on the first point to close it, and it's then made that shape, and it has restricted my results to only listings that show within this shape. If I'd like, I can add a second shape. I can add another shape within this and exclude that. You really have many, many possibilities with the different kinds of shapes that you can do. And if I don't like my shape, I want to edit it, I'll hit that edit button there. And then I have a couple of different ways to edit my shape. These little blue circles here are the different points that I made. So I can click and drag the points to edit those exact points, or I can click on the little scissors between the 2 points to create a new point between points. And let's say this is, I don't know, getting too convoluted and I just want to start over. I don't like this shape anymore. I'll just hit the little X in the middle and it will delete my shape. The 2 other shapes that I have the ability to draw are the rectangle shape, which is a square. So I'll use that. I'll click down and drag and drop, and it makes a square. And the other shape that I have the ability to draw is the radius shape. So it is the circle right here. So what I can do with the radius is I can click down and drag out, and it will create a radius from wherever I clicked down, and it will show me the number of miles that that radius is right there on the screen as I'm making it in real time. When I like my radius, I will just simply release my mouse, and it will then apply the radius. That said, maybe you want to center this radius on an exact address. So what I will do if I want to do that is I will use this center map on specific location. I will click that. I will type in my address. So I've clicked and created that. I've added my address, and you'll see it's got a little target on it. And then I can go back to my radius tool here. I just clicked on that, and then I can enter my number of miles here, 1 for instance, and it's now made a 1 mile radius from that point. And I'll click away and apply my shape, and it's now created that nice radius. Just so you know, if you're at that step and you move the map, like you drag it over here, clicking on the radius and then entering like a 1 mile radius, for instance, it'll create that radius from wherever the current center of the map is. If you're doing it the way that I just showed you, you'll want to make sure to create the radius right after you've entered that address. Another and perhaps simpler way to do this would be to go back to your search criteria. So I'll go back to search to show my search criteria, and I can use the proximity search, which is just a manual way of doing the same thing that I just showed you, probably actually a bit easier. So I'll type in my address and the 1 mile radius that I want, and then I'll go back to map, and it has created that radius for me. So there's other different ways that you can create your radius shape. Hopefully that's pretty helpful. Something else that you can do on the map is you can utilize the layers. I can use my layers tool here if I click on this little stack, and I can see different layers. By default, it is set to parcels, so it will be tax parcels that are visible on the map, but you can change this. You can see boundaries of cities, you can see postal codes if you want to see zip codes, neighborhoods, that sort of a thing, high school districts, elementary schools, that sort of a thing. So if you have specifics that you want to see on the map and how they play out in relation to properties that you're viewing, that can be really nice and helpful. Okay, and then regarding your results, these are my results for my search, and I actually have the ability to do quite a few things with them. So I can, I'm gonna just select a few. Now that I've selected a few, I can click on this to get a shareable public link for all the listings that I just selected. If you select an individual listing, obviously it will generate a link for just that listing. But if I create this for the ones that I've selected, it will be that group. I can send these over to Cloud CMA and start a CMA with these listings. If I click on the Cloud CMA button there and then choose Create New CMA, it will then start my CMA here in Cloud CMA with those exact MLS numbers as my comps, and you can continue on from there. It's a really nice seamless integration with Cloud CMA. I highly recommend if you do not use Cloud CMA currently for your CMA creation to check it out. It's a really fast, easy way to do so. It can even generate comps for you. I can also click on this little phone icon to then have the ability to text these listings to a client. I can also email it to a client by clicking on the little mail icon there. Back here in my general criteria, I can also click on Save Search here. If I want to save the search, I can do it either to myself, or I can associate a client with it if I want a automated search that will give them like recurring results. I can do so by clicking Select Client if I've already added their profile, or I can do Add New Client if I don't have them created already. As an example, I'll show you if I click on Add New Client, it will require you to put their name, so you want first and last name. You will also want to input an email address so that there is somewhere for these searches to send to. And then it does also require you to put a type of contact. As you can see, it's like buyer, seller, client. Really, that value does not matter. That could be whatever. It does not affect anything. It's just an organizational thing, and for some reason, it is required. But yeah, if you add that stuff in and then just hit add, it will then create your client contact. I'm going to add an example client right now that's already created. And then I'll do a search name. So example search. Just so you know, the search name is visible to the client. So in case that influences what you name it. If I do manual search, which is what it defaults to, it'll send a one-time search with the results that I am seeing now. If I want to do automatic search to send a recurring set of emails, I'll click that. And then immediately, as you can see, it will give us our parameters for how often this sends. By default, it will send once a day. It's chosen 4 a.m. as the time, but I can customize what time of day this sends, like 2 p.m. for instance. If I want it every other day, I can do run search every 2 days. It will only send the clients new results in that email, but any results that, including old ones that still match your criteria, will be visible to them within their client portal. I can change it to weeks if I want it like once a week on Mondays, Tuesdays, that sort of thing. Or you can do real time, meaning it will send an individual email for each new listing that matches your criteria. You have the option to BCC yourself and then, delete the search when it expires if you'd like. There's default messages that are sent here, and these are the messages that are sent every time the listings update. Down here in the new and changed listing message, an initial message is the first message that sends out when you initially send this to a client. You can customize those, or you can leave them uncustomized if you would like. So then I would just hit save, and that is it. My search is now saved to my client. So in ConnectMLS, the way for clients to see listings will be within their client portal. You have the ability to go and see a preview of their client portal, see what it looks like for them. This is a place where they can go and interact with the listings and see them. So if I go and click on clients, it will take me over to the clients page, and this is what a client profile looks like. I can edit their information over here with the edit button, but what I want to show you is their client portal. You can click view portal and it'll show you their client portal. This is where they can see any new listings. They can comment on the listings. They have the ability, if they open up a listing, to directly comment. They can heart the listing, thumbs down it, put it in a maybe folder, that sort of thing. Their interactions with these listings will be logged. That information obviously will be available to you. When they comment on listings, you will receive an email letting you know. All right, and now I'm going to show you how to actually add a listing onto the MLS. So in ConnectMLS, you'll just go up to the Listings tab here, go down to Add New Listing, and it will load with this form. This form is where you can actually save a little bit of time and use the tax autofill function to take what's available on tax record and automatically apply those fields to your listing. And I can do so with the following information. So firstly, I need to select a class, so residential, and then I either have to enter the county and state, zip code, or FIPS, and then I also have to enter either the APN number, which you can get from CRS Tax, or the address. The address is a little bit specific here. You'll just want to enter the street number and the street name, not the street suffix. So, for instance, I will do my county and state, and then I will add in my address. Again, no suffix. and then I will hit continue, and then it will pop up with anything that it has found that matches my criteria that I've entered. And this does indeed match. Hopefully, in most cases, you should just be getting one result. So that looks correct. I will hit continue, and then it will apply all that information to my listing here. So as you can see, some of these fields have a red asterisk next to them, meaning that they are required values. So you have to have something in there in order to save. And at this point, you actually need something in there in order to continue on with your input. So I'll add my county. I'll just add this information briefly here. And then once I have that added, I just hit continue, and it will bring me over here to the rest of my listing input criteria. Everything that has a red asterisk next to it is a required field. You have to have something in there in order to publish. If I'm going along and I'm entering my information, but I got to go take care of something and I'll work on this later, I would simply hit save as draft, and it will save your listing as a draft listing. At this point, it will then give it a draft number starting with DRF. You can see that right here. And you can access draft listings at any time if you go to listings, view and manage my listings and transactions, and then go up in this top corner here down to draft or partial listings. And then I can go and I can edit my listing at any time. Okay, so a cool function of ConnectMLS is the smart photo upload. So the smart photo upload is a way for you to upload photos, and then they will automatically be read for information that will then apply to your listing, namely photo labels and photo descriptions. So I will go ahead and I'm going to drag and drop some example photos in here. And as I drag and drop them, they will upload, and then you'll see the option pop up if you want to automatically generate titles and captions for them. This is AI reading the photos and generating this for you. So I can click continue if I want to do so, and I can click cancel if I don't want to do that at this point, but I will hit continue. And then you'll see it generates the photo labels and the photo descriptions. You can edit these at any time simply by clicking on the description, and then you'll see it's editable. You can change that. Click on the label, and you can select all sorts of different labels, or you can hit the little eraser there and just get rid of it. Also here you can change the visibility of your photos. Public photos mean that once this is a published listing, the photos will send out to third-party sites. Private photos means that they will stay on the MLS only. And then I just hit save changes to save my photos there. Just lastly here, so if I get all my information filled out, all the required information, all I would need to do at that point is enter in the status, which is something you will probably want to do last, and then you will click on validate for publishing, at which any kind of error, like if you don't have a required field filled out, or if there is some sort of error of any nature there, it will tell you what's wrong and then show you how to fix it. And then at that point, once everything is fixed, you would hit validate again, and then it would then publish your listing. And now I want to touch on the CMA. And that is it for the ConnectMLS Advanced class today. Thank you for watching this. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to our support team here at Bridge MLS. You can call us at 925-363-2333 or email us at support@bridgemls.com. Also, there is a very robust help section right here within ConnectMLS. If you click on help, and then go over to video tutorials or help center, there is a robust set of video tutorials for all of the different functions of ConnectMLS. And then the help center has text articles as well. So again, thank you so much for watching this. Hope you learned something new.